I know how to help you make more money in 100 days than you ever have before in that time period. If you want me to show you how, let me know in the comments. I'm laughing because, of course, you do. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you how I did it. So yesterday, I got the opportunity to meet with 12 amazing entrepreneurs. They all flew in from all over the world to meet with me because they won a contest to have an all-day mastermind with me. So we had a 9-hour mastermind and it was amazing, right? They flew in from England and from Montreal and from all over the US. And it was amazing. And I was able to look at 12 different companies, 12 different places, people, and circumstances. And we came to some very interesting conclusions about each one and what they had in common. And every single one of them, I believe, every single one of them has $1 million a year business on their hands if done well. So if they execute on what we talked about, and what that starts with though is the first 100 days. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted you to get this information as quickly as possible. And you can do this. You can apply this. So I just made this page for us to just go over. It's really simple. And no matter where you are in your like your entrepreneurial career, this will apply to you because we had people who had made $0 online. We had people who had made like mid six figures already and were doing things that we were charging 10,000 plus for. We had people who maybe they charge $100 for their service and some people who have never ever sold before. So you will be able to see yourself in this. If you're ready to go, let me know in the comments that you are here for it, you're excited about it, that this is valuable to you, because I want to make sure I'm making the right content for you. What also would help me is to tell me your age or your age range. That will help me understand who's seeing this. Now, I get to see in the metrics for YouTube different things like your like age ranges, but I'm very curious to know what's your age, what's your location, where are you calling in from, like watching in from? Tell me things like that. And if you want to go even further, which would be super helpful, is tell me where you are in your entrepreneurial journey. Are you kind of stuck somewhere? Are you making, 5 figures a month, 4 figures, 6 figures? Meaning, four figures, the numbers across. Like 5,000 is 4 figures, basically. Okay, so I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this. And I want to remind you that I make about $1 million a year. So I make about $3,000 a day on average, just on my things alone. And that it does not include all the people that I help make money as either they're my client or I just help them because I want to or whatever. So I help people make millions of dollars a year combined. And I was homeless 10 years ago. So I kind of know from both sides what the feeling is like when you really, really need money and you feel like you are onto something. And that's the toughest thing is like, have you ever been where you're like, this should work. Why am I looking around and everybody else is doing okay and I am not? If you felt that way before, you have to let me know in the comments. Also, subscribe right now. This is the time we're going to talk about subscribing in this video because I'm about to give you some absolute fire and I want you to get more of it. Okay, so traffic to sales flow. Again, this is going to be really simple and that's what's exciting about this. So what we figured out with the 12 different entrepreneurs who were here just yesterday in Los Angeles is that they had one of three problems. They either had a traffic problem. You see here, look here on the screen here. They either had a traffic problem, an offer problem, or a delivery problem. Not a lot of people had delivery problems, but there were one or two. And most people here had a traffic or an offer problem. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that is the most important to understand is that everybody had an offer problem, even if they also had a traffic problem. So even if you think that your problem is traffic, I don't have enough leads, I don't have enough people seeing my offer, oftentimes it's really the offer that needs help and needs work. And when you know, understand that that's like 99% of the time, it helps you reflect on what you're actually offering. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about, if you already have an offer, what your offer is. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment, okay? So you can pause this video if you need to think through something. I'm taking notes, so go ahead and take notes if you want. But I want you to kind of do this self-diagnostic with me. So let's talk about traffic issues. When we dial down traffic issues, there are four things that I've noticed, and I noticed yesterday. You either have the wrong audience for the offer, an old audience that's not fresh. I don't mean by age. I mean like they're not, they kind of came into your world years ago and you haven't like refreshed them. No audience. That's a lot of people. They just don't have an audience or a perceived audience. Like they have people they can reach out to they don't really realize, but they don't have much of an audience. Or they have an ideal audience, but their offer is not translating to that audience because their audience is so great, but their offer needs help, like we talked about. So if you break that down, wrong audience for the offer. Let me see. So what that means is you may be someone who has a lot of interests. You have a lot of talents, skills, interests. When you're someone like that, which is basically the definition of an entrepreneur, a lot of us have a hard time just doing one thing and just being interested in one thing. Let me know if that's you. Like it's hard for people who are very ambitious and have a lot of, things flying around in their head to say, "Yeah, let me do the one thing for 20 years." And when that's the case, though, and you can't harness it, you don't realize it, everything you do, every whim you have, every topic you want to talk about with your content or, your newsletters or your schools or whatever, it's picking up the wrong audience for the right offer. It's picking up an audience that is a great audience because everybody's great in that way, but they're not going to match the offer. So you're like wondering, why isn't anybody buying? And it's because they're not meant for the offer that you have. And the offer is the important thing. The other thing is an old audience, meaning not fresh, meaning let's say you've had a YouTube channel for like 10 years or 5 years, and you picked up, maybe you even had like a video that went kind of wild, like 4 years ago or something, and you picked up a lot of subscribers, but you haven't, like that video was about something else that you don't even talk about anymore or that you don't even sell anymore. It's still an interest of yours if you're still like posting, but is it matching your current offer? And if you take yourself back in time with the people who you picked up during that time or those years behind, even if it wasn't viral, it was just over time, would they still be interested in the new thing that you're working? Because I'm telling you, you're working on something new. I can just predict that through the screen. Are they the right audience for the latest that you're working on? And that may be why the traffic isn't converting into sales for you. Another problem could be that you have no audience to speak of. And a lot of times, what I see, and I saw this yesterday, is that it's because you're doing like a little bit of posting here on Instagram, a little bit of posting here on LinkedIn. You might have put up 2 videos on YouTube, and you're like, well, I'm on all the platforms. Why don't I have consistent traffic? Why don't I have anybody going to my landing pages? Being Having one or two sporadic things on some multiple platforms is not a strategic, consistent plan. It is not a marketing strategy. It is just throwing something at the wall and not even throwing it in a consistent way. Because you could even throw something at the wall, but every single day specifically, and that would actually be more of a strategy. So that's okay if that feels like that's you, because it's all of us. Like I've gone through all of these things. That's how I learned it. So I've done all these things and made these mistakes, but I'm going to show you in just a moment how you can correct that and how you can make more money in the next 100 days than you ever imagined you could because of this very simple flow that I'm going to take you through. Okay. And then you might have an ideal audience and it might be working. And you either have an ideal audience, but the wrong offer, or you have an ideal audience and your offer is selling, but there's still a problem. We'll talk about that in the offer section. Okay. So hopefully you're able to see yourself here if traffic is your issue so far. Okay, so write down which one yours is so you can keep that in mind. The next thing is the offer issue. So this definitely should have been A through D. My bad. Okay, so having a lot of offers, i.e., too many offers, or not knowing the difference between an offer and a tier. We'll come back to that. Or not having a compelling offer that's, compelling. Or having a great offer, but you abandon it for a shiny object. This is when you go back to traffic. So the first one, which should be A, look at the screen. I have 1 through 4. I don't know why. But the first one should be A, having a lot of offers. This was the number one thing I saw yesterday with these fantastic entrepreneurs. And we just went through 9 hours and we were able to course correct for everybody. So believe me, you can course correct with me. In fact, look in the description below, and I have something for you in the description below. It's going to help you a lot. And that is something that takes just a little bit of time, right? It's a little bit of time to get you so you can get to your first 100 days. Okay. So having a lot of offers, meaning too many. If you have more than one offer, it's too many, at the ultimately, especially at the stage of if you're not making $1 million a year yet. If you're not making $1 million a year yet, and you have more than one offer, it could be a problem. Okay. Let me explain that. So having too many offers or having a lot of offers, first of all, a confused mind doesn't buy. So your customers are very confused, most likely, about where they should be. Now, you might say, I want to meet them where they are, so I have a low ticket and a mid ticket and a high ticket. In my experience, I don't see that amount of structure when it's too many offers. I have the win your way to, the life you want offer. That's over here, and that's 1,200. And then I have, the ultimate makeover for your career offer, and that's over there, and that costs $27, and that's a course, and it's just all these different things that don't tie in together. There's not a funnel or a flow to it, and they're all over the place. And I see this, and again, this is no judgment. This is the moment where you get to kind of look at what you're doing and say, okay, how can we streamline this? So if you have a lot of offers, it also makes it difficult for you to deliver those offers because you don't have enough groundswell, you don't have enough people buying into them for any of them to be amazing, stellar, write home about it offers, where you would have people posting about it online because they just think it's so amazing. So think about it. You've probably seen, if this is not your first time seeing me, you probably have seen someone else say something good about one of my offers. And that's how I get a lot of my sales, is because I make something so powerful, compelling, that people talk about it. And it's hard to do that if you haven't made $1 million yet and you have 2, 3, 5 offers all over the place. Okay. Now, actually, or B is going to help you with that too. But think about what your favorite offer is, what you enjoy delivering the most, like doing the most. What's that one? And see if it matches what has been sold the most of. Even if it's like 5 people in the last 2 years bought this thing, did you enjoy doing it? And was it easy to sell because it was easy to explain? We just sometimes get so in the weeds, we don't notice things like that. So this is going to be super helpful for you if you just think through this, watch this video more than once. You're going to find that. We found it for all 12 of our entrepreneurs yesterday. Now, B is not knowing the difference between an offer and a tier. Now, this is where things get super interesting yesterday. There were some people who had multiple offers seemingly, but when I broke it down, they weren't multiple offers. They were the same offer, but just different pricing tiers, just different delivery methods, meaning there was a low cost version of that one offer, there was a medium priced option, and there was a high priced option. And the low cost was it was deliverable easily and could scale. The mid, maybe had a little bit of done with you to it, and the high cost was like maybe in person or a retreat or something that handed over to you, done for you. And what was cool about that is that they didn't have to say, oh, I have to scrap all these offers, because we realized actually they're not all offers. They are all tiers. So if you have different things that you sell, but they could be named the same thing. Like if you were to do like a taste test where you put something over it, like a blanket over each one or a towel over each one, the writing, the name of it, and you were to reveal which each one was, you could name all of them the same thing and they would understand it. Like your customers would say, oh, okay, that's the same thing. So like, let's say that you have a company, let's say you have a business where you help women who are leaving their longtime careers transition into an entrepreneur. If you have something where you have a course that talks to them about it, like, there's a course that's costs $100 and it talks to them, it teaches them, it's 2 hours long. And it's like the career makeover course. We're just going to call it that for now. Better ones that are existing, right? The career makeover course. That's like a lower ticket, or that maybe you have a school for that. And then you have for $1,000. So let's say that's a course. Leave that alone as a course. It's 97 bucks. Then for $1,000, you get a year of your school community that is the career makeover school community, right? And someone who took a course called that career makeover would probably join a school called that if they knew about it. And then let's say you have something that costs $10,000 and it is your 3-day career makeover retreat. You would stand to reason that anybody who's in your 1-year school would be interested in your 10K 3-day makeover retreat, where everything happens in 3 days and they get to like accelerate things. And they walk out with, maybe you have people there who are helping them create a business plan and helping them create their landing page, and they take headshots and they do their branding while you're there, and they just go off and they leave with stuff. Right? Like this is not 3 different offers. This is one offer with 3 different versions of it. Another way of thinking about this is like, let's say you're going to do, and you'll see me do this. Let's say you're going to do like a 5-day challenge. Okay. 5-day challenge. You pay $97 for the challenge. You get to go to the challenge live. Then you have like a $297 is your VIP. And those customers get to an extra hour with you before the main event, and they get access to all the replays. So they can ask you questions in that extra hour, and they get the replays, so they have like an advantage over anyone who got general admission. And then let's say you have like a 1997, $2,000 offer or part of this, where they get to have one-on-one calls with you for 4 weeks after the event. That's even a better example of one offer with different tiers. And what some people think is, what they think is, oh, I have multiple offers, because they've named it too many things, right? They've called it this thing over here, the tree factory and the abundance mindset reset and da. And they've named it all these different things. So it is all over the place. But what they should do in this case, if this is them, is they should rename it as part of one offer. It's just a different version of that offer, meeting people where they are. Because some people may want just to jump online and watch the 5-day. And some people may want that white glove service where they get to work with you one-on-one. Hope this is helping. Let me know in the comments. So number 3 is not having a compelling offer at all. Just not having something that is what we call a painkiller, not a vitamin. Where it's like, of all the millions of things that people are seeing, every year, why are they compelled to go in your direction and even look over there? Why would they want it? A lot of times, unfortunately, we think because we want it, because we like it, because one of our friends has said it was cool one time, that it's a great offer. It's a no-brainer. What we need is perspective from someone else. We need someone. So you either would look for an accountability partner, or you would do a survey of your former customers or new customers, someone in your audience. You want eyes on your offer for them to for you to understand if that one offer, or that's, tiers of that offer, are compelling enough. Like, take away the pricing and all of that, but it's like, do you want the thing? Like, I just did this week. I have an offer that I was thinking about making, a higher ticket offer for sure. And instead of just offering it and hoping that it was a good offer, I surveyed my inner circle members. And so they're answering me. I asked them, what price would you pay for this? Because I gave them the offer. I told them what the offer would have in it, right? Or what the outcome would be exactly. I said, what would you pay for this? On a scale from 1 to 10, how much of a painkiller is it? Is it necessary? And what was the other one? Oh yeah, two things. One was, is it a painkiller or a vitamin, right? How much would you pay for it? And then on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being you're stepping on people's heads to get this offer, how badly do you want this right now? Three simple questions. And I was able to get so much great information already in just 3 or 4 days that helps me understand who this is for, if it's the right offer, and what I could potentially make from it and what I should charge. I'm not going to just listen and they say, okay, it should be this price. I'm going to take all the information plus my instinct, and then I'll put the price out there. Right. So this is all kind of leading up to what I want you to do for the next 100 days. If you're still with me, I want you to say the keyword, and especially if you've just found me today. Oh, that's so cool. Let me know in the comments. We're gonna say uh, sunshine. Sunshine, because it's sunny outside. Sunshine is the word that tells me that you've made it this far, because I'm gonna show you what to do for the next 100 days. Definitely subscribe to this channel. And here we go. Okay. For the next 100 days, it's so simple. You're going to hone in on one traffic source. You're going to pair that with one amazing offer, and you're going to focus on the outcome. And the outcome is two parts. So let's go back to honing on a traffic source. You are going to choose a traffic source. It could be one that you already use. Hopefully, if you already have one that you enjoy working on. And when I say traffic source, I mean a YouTube like I'm on right now, LinkedIn, Substack, Instagram, email, etc. Right? If you already have one that you really enjoy, and I guess email wouldn't be exactly what I'm looking for here, is traffic, traffic, traffic. If you already have something that pulls people in, and let's say you have 3 different ones, what is the one that you enjoy doing the most? And it also has some results. You've seen some results from it. Choose that one so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, so that you don't get burned out and you don't get resentful. And because it's already helping you, even if it's small amount, because you're just going to do a lot more of that. So I want you to do a lot more of that. If you just don't, many people say that they don't, but they do. They post on Instagram. It may be sporadic. It may not be like that they have a whole plan, but they do have a traffic source. So if you think of anything you like to do, if you like doing that, or if you haven't tried one, or they just don't work for you, highly recommend YouTube. Just give YouTube a try for these 100 days and see what it does. On day 80, you have 4 views. Keep going. I'm just so serious. Most people will not. And they'll say, I can't get anybody to see my offer. I can't get anybody to buy my thing, because they will not even do this 100 days. I usually say do it for a year or more. People who are rich have been doing things for 10 years and 20 years. I did my venture fund where I raised $30 million and invested in 200 companies for 12 or 13 years without doing anything else. This is what makes it good. This is what makes the money. This is what you have to reprogram for yourself. So you're either going to do this or you're not, right? I highly suggest that you say for the next 100 days, I'm just going to try this, even if I don't see progress, because most people stop too soon. So when it comes to your traffic source, you're either going to choose the one that's already working for you and or that you just really enjoy so that you can do this for 100 days, or you're going to try YouTube. You're just going to try it. And you're going to post daily. If you're not used to posting daily, it's going to feel like a lot of work or seem like a lot of work. It's going to feel like exposed. But if you want different outcomes in your bank account, you have to do different things. You have to have different inputs if you want different outputs. If you don't have $1 million in your bank account and you want $1 million in your bank account, you got to do different things in life to make that happen. Okay? So you're going to post every day, because if you post every day for 100 days, you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn about your audience. You're going to learn about what you enjoy doing, about your offer, about the content that you make, the topic that you're in. You're going to learn how that particular platform works. You're going to learn so much about how that platform works that you'll be so good at it day 50. It'll be ridiculous compared to today. Even if you've already done it for a while. Like I learn every day on YouTube. And I have 172,000 subscribers in just a few months. You are going to learn so much and it's going to help you. And what could happen is that you have this sort of groundswell effect, flywheel effect even, where the more you do, the more outcome you get, and the more outcome you get, the more it's inputted, right? And that can start to work for you with less pressure. So the flywheel is you get the momentum going without needing to exert as much effort. So it could be that you do this for 100 days, and then for 12 months after that, you're posting once a week. And because of what you did for those 100 days, your momentum is the same when you do 1/7 of that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to pair it with one amazing offer. You're going to look at the offer that you have, and the offer is just, what do you sell? It could be a digital product. It could be a course. It could be a product that you have, like, that you've created. But you're going to look at that offer that you have, and you're going to really hone in on, is this a painkiller or a vitamin? Is this a nice to have vitamin, or is it like taking away the headache today? Why would people need this? And if you don't know if it is, you're going to survey. You're going to ask, not just people you know who like you, who want to be nice to you. And you're not going to take it personally. You can also find out by using what I have in the link below. The link below will help you. Okay? That's another way. So you're going to have an offer, and you're going to stick. This is probably the most important part of the video. So I want you to please pay close attention to this. You're going to stick to selling that one offer for the 100 days. You're not going to sell other stuff. I know that's hard for some people. I know it's hard for me. It's hard for me. But I've done the thing that I'm telling you that you could do, which is I stuck with something for 12 years. I'm only asking you to stick for this for 100 days, just a little bit over 3 months. You're going to focus on one offer. You're just going to sell the one thing. And even if you have multiple pricing for that offer, I would suggest, you don't have to do any of this, but I would suggest you only focus on one price point for that offer for now. Because if you can get the $97 course, for instance, 100 people to buy that thing in those 100 days, you can do whatever you want after that. I'm going to now introduce this. I have 100 people who went through my course. I'm going to introduce them to my $1,000 a year school in 2026 or whatever, 2027, wherever you are when you watch this. By the same token, if you sell 10 of the $1,000 things, you can turn that into something that's a low ticket, because you can just I'm not going to do any one-on-one anymore. I'm just going to turn that framework into something I can teach and that scales. But the point of all this, I can do this all day, right? But the point of all this is that if you focus on one price point, one offer for 100 days, and you focus on that traffic source and getting better and better and better at that, magic will start to happen. Now, the third piece of it, which is so important, because the other two don't work without this piece, is to focus on one outcome. And what that means is, look here, your outcome meaning how much money do you want to generate in this period of time, or how many leads do you want to generate? It may not be about money for you. It may be about leads. It may be about something else. But let's make it simple and say it's about money. So we did this yesterday with almost everybody, which is in these 100 days, based on your experience in the past and based on just like a good guess, what is an ambitious goal for you? For some people, that's like, I want to have, 1,000 people on my mailing list. So for some people, it's, I want to make $10,000 in these 100 days in whatever way I'm going to do it. For some people, that number is higher. And for others, that number is lower because they say, if I can make $1,000 doing this, then I know I can make more later. So you're going to, you're going to find your number and you're going to write your number down and you're going to say, okay, what is that number? Now, if you come up with a number that is so astronomical, so high compared to what you've done in the past, you're setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. Because we're not in the business of like, this is not a magic box, genie fairy coming out of it. We're talking about the real deal. So I want you to come up with a number that even if it's not like a number that would just change your life, you think because it's such a, $1 million in 100 days, don't do that. 10K in 100 days will change your life because if you're able to do that and you've never made that amount of money doing online sales before in that period of time, and then you do it, your life is changed because you'll be able to replicate that. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Leave a comment and let me know if what I'm saying makes sense to you. So that's the outcome for that meeting. And then the other outcome is for your customers. What is the transformation you want to help them reach? Remember, confused mind doesn't buy, but also when you want to make the sale, you're selling the transformation, not the features or the details of what you get in it. Really good example. Let's say you're selling trips to the Bahamas. Have you ever heard anybody say when they're selling trips to the Bahamas, okay, you're going to buckle your seatbelt when you get on that plane, and that plane is probably going to have some residue from peanuts left over. You're probably going to have a kicking child kicking the back of your seat. You're going to also it's going to be like 4 hours or so to get there. Have you ever heard anybody describe when selling the trip to the Bahamas, all the details of the trip, the ups and downs, the struggle, the hard work they're going to have to do? Or have you, or even the details of, and then the flight attendants are going to be making the coffee at the front, the details of the nitty gritty, what you're doing behind the scenes. No, what do you see? You see beautiful sand beaches, white sand beaches. You see people frolicking in barely next to nothing. You see happy, joyful kids being thrown up in the air. You see drinks a lot of time and food and merriment. You see the outcome. You give me money, you get this. So you're going to describe the transformation. You're going to paint a picture for the transformation. Someone is this after they buy my offer, and your offer doesn't have to be 100 days. Your offer can be a one-day thing or a course or this or that. But whatever it is, their transformation is they are now transformed to this. They were struggling to figure out what to do after they left their decades-long job. And with my offer, you will be able to get a new job, or you will be able to start your first company, or whatever your transformation is. I'm just giving you an example. So you're going to focus on one traffic source, one main compelling offer, and the outcome. I want to sell My offer for $1,000, I want to make $10,000 in the next 100 days. So that means I need to sell 10 of these. And that's the transformation that I want. That's the outcome. I am going to do that by posting for 100 days straight on YouTube about the topic and things around the topic that would call out my ideal customer. Now, of course, there are other things to this, and what's in the description will help you with that, okay? But this is the gist of it. I normally charge people thousands of dollars to be part of my masterminds. We had a 9-hour mastermind yesterday with 12 entrepreneurs, and this was what we came up with for all of them. Not on purpose, by the way. I treated everyone individually, and this is what we realized at the end of the day, is that it's all down to this. It's all down to this. So you can reprogram the way you think about stuff. And hey, if you're saying, hey, I don't want to do this, 100 days is a lot. What I have to say to you is, if you want different results, you have to do different things at the top of that. In a year, do you want to be where you are today or even worse off? Do you want to how many years have you been trying to make it work online? How many years have you wanted to reach a certain amount of money that you make on your own and you haven't? That's a pain point, right? Watch what I'm doing, not just what I'm saying. That's a pain point. So a solution is this. Try it. Let's say you try it. You do all this, you get to the end of the 100 days, and you still didn't reach your goal or anywhere close to it. But you did truly do this. Now, you can't not do this and get worried. But you truly didn't reach your goal. What that means is you got to start over and look at your traffic, your offer, and your delivery. And what it also means is you gain so much experience. You made so many reps. You got so much from it, even if you didn't get the exact thing you thought, that it's going to help you with the next and the next. And you can cuss me out. You can be like, she said, oh, if I do this for 100 days, I'm set. You can cuss me out. Or you can say, am I better? Am I a better entrepreneur today, 100 days in, than I was 100 days ago? That's amazing. What did I like about this experiment? Because it's all a big experiment. What did I like about it? What worked for me and what didn't? If you're saying, oh, I have a 9 to 5, I have kids, I can't possibly post every day. Are you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. On a Saturday or Sunday, film for an hour, film for 90 minutes, and cut those into different pieces. Use ChatGPT to help you get ideas. Use my GPT to help you get ideas. There are ways to do it. Anything that you're saying to yourself that is why you can't do this is a limiting belief you're placing on yourself that you have to battle with. You need to cut away that noise. Cut it out of your vision. Like it's getting in your way on purpose because you're a little scared. You're a little scared that it's not going to work. You're a little scared of being embarrassed or wasting time, quote unquote. You're a little scared of something. Someone has told you you can't do this or that it would be silly. You don't want somebody to think you're dumb for doing this. What are they doing? Who told you that you weren't good enough? Who told you you couldn't do this? Somebody did. And now you say it to yourself all the time. We're going to get rid of them for 100 days. We're just going to try. We're just going to try. And no matter what happens, we're going to be a better entrepreneur for it.